All right, well, I'm gonna get a little work done on the Jeep today. We already went and got blood work done. Regretfully, my wife is now having a new pressure wound on her hip. We've been fighting one on her backside since May of last year. It started to heal. We've been doing a lot of rotating, but her skin is just now starting to break down more and more. So now I was going to go to the emergency room this morning, but the home nurse said that they would come out this afternoon and take a look. They didn't think we should go to the ER. So they're going to be here sometime after 3. So it's going to give me a couple of hours of working on this. I do need to try to get this opened up today so I can see about the battery. Supposedly I got a guy that wants to come on the weekend and take a look at it. Maybe he'll buy it and clear out one of these, and then depending on what happens, I need to swap the seats out in that one so I can put it up for sale. Got to get my friend to come over here and get the seats, because I sold him the seats and I bought some new seats for that car. So maybe I can get him over here this weekend and we can get them swapped. That's a fairly easy swap. The hard part is how heavy they are, just moving them. So let me get the hood open, find my cutting wheel. We'll start cutting this fender. Hopefully we can get the new one fitted today. We'll see. Let's just see. I'm getting tired. So last night was rough. She woke me up about every hour, having to be suction the stuff out of her lungs, which is not her fault, but it does make for a long day. All right, let me get the hood open, find my cutoff wheel, get a new disc on it, and go. All right, so I've cut through the 2 panels, because back here in this corner up to about where the white mark is, it's double panels. So in order to get through that, you got to kind of dig deep. The other thing you want to kind of make sure is you don't hit the headlight wiring. So that should be far enough out of the way. If you're using a Sawzall, that could be a different thing, but I'm only using a 3-inch cutting wheel, so it's just not deep enough. But once I get it cut, I will be taking out the window fluid reservoir, so I can get down inside there a little easier. But like I said, it's got one screw that holds it in back there. I think that's the only screw. Seems to be, and then it looks like it should just lift up. Hopefully. We'll see. As far as the window squirter goes, I don't even know if I'm going to put that back in. That'll be something I'll think about, because really we'll have to see how it works. I don't even know if there's any fluid in it. There's some water and some dirt. That's what it looks like to me. So alright, so I'm gonna go ahead. This here is just one layer of metal all the way up, so it should cut pretty quickly. Alright, so corner cut back as far as I'm going to need it. I took a slice out of this just to free up this piece that was here. Got the fender pretty much cut, so we're going to cut along this edge. We're going to loosen up the fender, pull it, cut this whole edge off. So that'll be that. But that took one 3-inch cutting wheel to get through, so not too bad. I do need to measure from back here to up here to make it match that one over there, and then we'll figure out where we're going to cut it. But first things first, we're going to go ahead and unbolt the front part of this, pull it away like I did on the other side, so I can cut as close to the edge of that with a brand new disc, and we can trim that all out of there real quick. And then I'll work on getting the reservoir out so I can finish this cut. So I need to replace the disc and find the bolts, which I can't remember. I think they were 16s. We'll see real quick, and then we'll go for it. All right, so in order to get the window washer out, it needed to move over because it catches on the stupid fender. So I had to take the reservoir, the overflow for the radiator out, so I could get to the 3 bolts, these little 7/16 or 3/8 I should say. Get that all out of there. Now I have plenty of room to work. It didn't take that long, but my overflow reservoir, 2 of the tabs are broken. So I'll probably get an aftermarket one and then mount it in a new location. If I put the window washer tank back in, I'll probably scoot it over just a little bit so that I don't have to take it out again and I can just take the tank out. That's going to be my game plan. So I just want to make sure I have enough room so that when I start cutting, I don't hit these wires and I can get to all of the inner fender bolts here. There's, I don't know if you can see them, this one here and there's one right there. So an extension, looks like I can get to both of those with an extension and a wobble, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I shouldn't need to take out the CPU here, or ECU, whatever you want to call it. So that's that. Once I get those 2 or those 4 bolts out of there, then the fender will move a little bit more and I'll be able to cut this a lot easier. So I'm gonna pull these real quick. Okay, so I used a wobble and my air ratchet, and I was able to get all 4 of those screws out of there without, or bolts out of there without any issue. I do need to take this one crossbar, this crossbar out because that one won't be used because we're going to cut it out, but this other one will stay. But now you can see the fender's laid over far enough I can get in there and cut it, and then I will cut this back section off, probably a couple of cuts, and then I'll fine tune it once I bring the fender out like I did the other one. So let's go ahead and get this one cut. Okay, so we got the whole fender piece cut off. I will need to trim this up a bit more right in here to make sure that it fits with the new fender, but I'm gonna go grab the new fender and see how things line up, and then we'll figure out what we need to make cuts on. All right, so been test fitting, had to make some adjustments up here. I'm still hanging here, so I'm gonna cut towards the top side of this, where this hole was, all the way over to this, making a little notch, and that should fit the bottom edge of the fender because it's got a little flat spot towards the bottom, so that should give me enough room. And hopefully this gives me enough room and I can get everything in, and it should line up. Once I can get this top bolt in here, I'll mess with trying to line the front up. Okay, so it's pretty good on there. I got the 2 lower bolts in right there. The upper one's a kind of a pain with that thing. So what I'm going to do is try to get the front one in, then I come back, get this back one, last back one in. Then I can align this section, sort of tighten it, everything up, put it where it wants to be, and then I'll go ahead and finish the front ones. But right now we're going to try to get a front one in. Hopefully this side lines up better than the other side. If not, I'll do the same thing. I'll take this, loosen this bolt off so I can adjust it whichever way it needs to go, like I did on the other side, and that should be it, hopefully. So next thing is we're gonna get this front bolt in and try to get the last of this back in and tightened up a little bit. All right, so I got those bolts in, but that one there, unless I take this fender back off and grind this out of the way, I am not going to be able to get that bolt in. The other option would be to unbolt all these 3 and stick the stepper bit in there and hope that we don't mess it up. But the fender's on. I'm going to look for the stepper bit, and then I'll probably loosen everything up and just go ahead and drill that out. Okay, I swear I hate it when things don't work out. Okay, so I took the bolts back out, drilled that hole out, tried to put the fender back, and now the inner fender is way over there somewhere. It won't line up any of the holes except the one I drilled out. And I'm getting tired. I had it lined up. I had 3 of the holes lined up. Now everything's shifted. It's not the outer fender because it's bolted to the firewall. It is definitely the inner fender. It's some sort of issue with something right in here, I think, which is weird because it just fit in there a second ago. So we're going to try to flex the inner fender a little bit and see if I can get it to push forward. Alright, so that was a bit of a chore. I finally got everything to line up. I had to lift the fender and pull it forward to slot it in right there. I guess I could have taken the fender back off and cut this bracket out of the way, and that would have solved problems, but everything's in, it's lined up. The rears, so the only thing I got left to do is drill out those and drill out the ones across the top of the fender. These 5, but my spacing looks pretty good like it did on the other side. I do need to pull the bottom out just a little bit. Alright, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to put my tools away. The nurse should be here in the next hour, so I need to deal with that. So that's going to call it for today. Thanks for watching.